1,002,117,505. That is how many humans have been infected by COVID-19. Unfortunately, 2.2 million of those people have sadly died. There are currently 25.9 million active cases, only 0.4 of which are serious or critical. 25.8 million people are in a mild condition, which is 99.6%, which is good. 76.172 million people have been recovered from COVID-19. As I can see by the linear graph in front of me, in January 22nd, 2020, only 994 people had COVID-19. It hadn't even reached 1,000. By that time, in 1 month, the cases had climbed to over 80,000. That time, in another month, we're seeing over 500,000. Moving on to today, we have over 100 million. Daily deaths have sadly started to increase on a higher rate. The USA currently is in the lead with 26.3 million COVID cases. India far behind with 10.7 million. Brazil not even reached 10 million. The first country that hasn't reached 1 million is Czechia, with only 972,642 cases. It's hard to believe, but there is a country that has only got one coronavirus case, and that is Vanuatu. So, what is going to happen in 2021? We'll find out very, very soon. Just over a year ago, the first COVID-19 case was recorded in Wuhan, China. Now, over 100 million people currently have this virus. Many people have died, but many more people have recovered. The total cases keep on climbing, and so do the total deaths. Unfortunately, many people cannot see an end to this disastrous pandemic. USA is in the lead with 26.338 million cases of COVID-19. California is the state with the most number of COVID-19 cases. Texas following, Florida following that, New York, Illinois, Georgia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and North Carolina are all in the top 10. Fortunately, there are some instances where very little COVID-19 cases have been recorded around the world. Vanuatu currently has no COVID-19 cases and has only experienced one COVID-19 case. Almost every country in the known world has at least got one case of COVID-19, either active or has had it in the past. This is not good for the world, as currently herd immunization is taking place with the new COVID-19 vaccine. Many people are worried that COVID-19 will go on to the end of 2021 and into the next year. Many people, however, think that 2021 will be the end to this disastrous epidemic. Coronavirus has taken its toll on the world. but there are definitely instances where coronavirus has helped the world. We've seen in the previous year of 2020 that coronavirus has made the Earth a better place environmentally, with more factories globally shutting down, producing less and less CO2 emissions, making the atmosphere more clean. The ozone hole across the world has been repaired due to this. Many countries have seen rapid environmental growth, with habitats regrowing. Unfortunately for countries like Australia, in the beginning of 2020, bushfires destroyed acres upon acres upon acres of land, destroying this habitat. Globally, COVID-19 is a negative thing, but environmentally, COVID-19 has helped the world. Currently, the United States is increasing quickly with how many numbers they have. Day 316 is the day this was recorded. It has been 316 days since the United States received its first COVID-19 case. Now, the numbers are climbing almost 10,000 cases a day. Next is India. India has a more slow progression with COVID-19. They are now on day 290. They currently have 1.7 million COVID-19 cases. Brazil is next. They are on day 299. Iran, day 322. Spain, 327, and many, many, many other countries are experiencing this. The cumulative number of cases, Europe versus USA, by number of days since 10,000 cases. Europe and obviously the United States are on the same day. But here you can see the massive increase in the numbers from Europe to USA. The number of deaths, it has been 2 days from when the first case was recorded in the US, when the first person died. Now, there are over 440,000 people that have died from COVID-19. Iran, Spain, Russia, India, and the UK are all experiencing the same number of deaths. The United States has 25% of all COVID-19 cases. India has 10.5%. But then we see countries like Peru with only 1.10%, Germany 2.15%, and the United Kingdom with 3.67%. But don't let these numbers fool you, because even though the UK only has a meager 3.67% of all COVID-19 cases globally, they still have 3.7 million cases, globally. Brazil has the third largest amount of COVID-19 cases, with 8.87% of all COVID-19 cases. The total cases worldwide are very, very, very slowly climbing. On January 22nd, 2020, there were only 994 confirmed cases. In late June, there were over 10 million. In early December, there were 73 million. And now, January 28th, 2021, there are over 100 million coronavirus cases. Daily cases peaked on January 7th, 2021, with over 840,000 cases. and that was just in one day. Luckily, we are seeing a decrease in cases, globally every day. Active cases are reaching a plateau. The numbers rapidly increased from September to December. Recovered and discharged. Thankfully, this graph mimics the one of active cases. It steadily goes up. On February 19th, there were 16,000 people that have been cured from COVID-19. The numbers started reaching the millions and then the tens of millions. Newly infected versus newly recovered. This graph shows that there are more newly infected cases than newly recovered. And, you can be an average person to realize that if there are more infected than recovered people daily, that means that COVID-19 will slowly grow. Serious and critical cases. Thankfully, serious and critical cases have gone down daily, but reached a peak at over 111,000. The outcome of cases, recovery and death. Thankfully, they mimic each other. On April 5th, 2020, the recovery rate was 79.41%. And that, on the same day, was only a meager 20. Thankfully, the rate of death has gone down drastically, and the rate of recovery has increased. Again, the total deaths linear scale has plummeted all the way up to 2 million plus deaths. Daily deaths, sadly, are increasing their numbers each day by at least 1,000. From the cases timeline worldwide, we can see that China and Spain were equal in the amount of cases that they had. If we play this short video in front of me, we can see that it took a very short amount of time for the rest of the world to catch COVID-19. Africa was one of the last continents to receive the COVID-19. And obviously now, and top, every single continent on planet Earth has got COVID-19. As we reach the date of 2021, 28th of the 1st, we can see that Greenland only has 30 cases, while someone like Russia and the United States of America have many more. Total deaths due to COVID-19 isn't a pleasant graph, but we can see that it is getting better. Slowly, incredibly slowly. In fact, it's so slow that you couldn't even tell that it looks like the numbers will just keep going up. On January 24th, 2020, there were only 11 people that had died of COVID-19. This was the COVID-19 statistics mainly of 2020. But keep in mind that 2021 has also proven to be a dangerous year in terms of COVID-19. This particular virus will not go away until we all start to social distance, wear masks, and make sure we practice the government regulations of your specific country. Thank you for watching this podcast, and I shall see you in the next one, where we look at America from mid-2020 with the Black Lives Matter riots all the way up until today, what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are doing to rebuild America.